I've said it before, my friends. Nature is bad, and the only reason why we think grass and trees are nice is because we can look at them out our window.
Here we go! Stay a while and listen. It's good!
Talking about games. Talking about games.
Video
Talking
games.
about games and talking about
Video
games.
games. Video games.
Now, I respect the Grateful Dead. I appreciate them, but I don't understand it, and I don't seek them out to listen to them. Are you a Deadhead?
No, I am whatever a BTS head is, but
Right.
I do not. I know, of course, about the cult of the Grateful Dead, but I don't think I've ever heard a Grateful Dead song in my entire life.
And I don't know that I would either, except there are contingents of the extended family that are like casual fans going up to hardcore, like follow them around the country fans. And it's like I love all genres of music and I love all types of artists, and I do love music from the 60s and 70s. There's plenty of it that I listen to regularly. But I just there's not enough melodic structure in the Grateful Dead for me. And I love jam bands. Like I enjoy Fish, certain albums, and I'm a huge Dave Matthews fan. And I think there's a lot of work there that is like orchestral in nature, even though it's rock and roll. And whenever I hear the Grateful Dead, it just sounds like people noodling around on a guitar for 20 minutes.
Yeah, like not even having heard directly what they do, I feel like that's kind of how I feel about them. That's kind of how I feel about Pink Floyd, which I know is kind of blasphemous. Like a lot of people worship Pink Floyd.
I'm not a huge Pink Floyd either, but yeah, I get it.
None of that has ever been for me. But I will say, as a person that has somewhat followed BTS around the country in the last 10 years, I think when you really have a deep connection with a band and you love them, and more so, you love the experience of being in the stadium with all the people and experiencing the songs live and having moment. Like I saw BTS on the last show, and it was like or 2 shows ago, and it was like an open top stadium, and it was beautiful because the stars came out. And while they were playing, like it went from daytime to the most beautiful night sky. And I just remember that kind of as a bliss experience. And so, I don't have to like the Grateful Dead to hope that those fans are having some version of
they're having of that time of their lives. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So, the world is enough of a nightmare, man. Go enjoy whatever it is you enjoy.
Go have fun at the show. This is not
Pam
a music.
Bondi got fired. That was cool.
I mean, yes, I guess I just shrug and say, who cares? Why are people? She's an awful person who deserves to be kicked to the curb, but like, who cares? He's just going to hire some other awful
someone else.
Like, why does this matter? It doesn't matter. We need to impeach this criminal.
Right. I forget the last person that got let go, but like one of my group chats, like the girls were like, oh my God, like this person, that's so great. They got fired. And that's what I said. I was like, it's the same person. So, the only thing that makes me happy about Pam Bondi being let go is I just remember being so fucking horrified when she was, like, well, the Dow's down. And I was like, fucking burn in hell, you bitch. So like there is a little flicker of like, I guess just desserts karma. But you're right. You're right.
Whatever she says to the public is just what the administration is also saying. So it doesn't, right. As far as I'm concerned, she is a non-entity. She is just a mouthpiece. Head. Yeah. I don't care about any of that.
It makes sense. Well, we're not going to talk about politics because we're here to talk about
this is not a music podcast, and it is not a politics podcast. It is a video game podcast. My name is Matt Silverman. I'm joined in the other chair across the Great Divide. Thank God we're in the same time zone.
Yes.
This would be so much harder if we were not.
Oh man, when we used to do Retroforce, we were trying to align 4 different time zones. That was really it was no surprise that it was hard to get everyone in the same place, or that we did 100 episodes and then we're like, okay, guys, like,
but
that was a time.
Your name is Colette Bennett. I didn't get to say it yet. Hello, and also the fact that you were doing remote podcasting, is that true? Back then,
in 2008,
like podcasts were barely a thing. And doing it remotely presents a lot of challenges, just generally speaking.
If you heard those early episodes, I think you would maybe kill yourself. Like the sound issues, like we had. Have I ever told you about that joke about the bucket? About how
I love it.
Topher's in the bucket, but like it was bad. But I think it was also like you said, it was the beginning of podcasting as the thing, and I think a lot of people were not so worried about the high quality of the recording as they were about the fun.
They still don't care. I'll tell you this as a professional podcast person, nobody gives a shit. We've been hearing people call into radio shows being like for 100 years. You know what I mean? Nobody gives a shit about, like, audio quality matters and it's important and blah blah blah, but like ultimately a show will succeed or fail based on the content and the hosts and the vibes and the whatever.
I mean, that makes sense to me. But you know, I definitely have had many a time where I listened to a podcast and was like, the quality's too low. I can't.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Totally.
That's just me though. And I mean,
but you have taste and you have standards. But what I'm getting at is like, doing a stable call on the internet in 2008 for an extended period of time across 4 time zones is absolutely unhinged insanity. And the fact that you actually made episodes, like remote podcasting has gotten very, very good in the last 2 years, but I've been doing it for longer and it used to really suck. And I'm even paying for like whatever professional versions of tools. I don't even use Zoom, and even still it was very rough at times. So again, we're going back to 2008. That's unbelievable.
It was quite a time. It was quite a time. Yeah, I was in at some point Miami. Chad was in LA.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember where everyone was in a different time zone.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, and you probably didn't have, you know, like modern scheduling tools and or like, you know, not that Doodle is some magic thing, but like, you know, there are websites now that allow you to schedule and convert time zones and be like, oh, just click this link and then we'll all sync up on the same time. It's like none of that existed. So I assume it was 400 emails trying to figure out which day of the week you could possibly get together.
I could be wrong because it was so long ago, but I think it was that it was always on the same day of the week and that I was frequently not on it because I was on a plane, which was another long time joke we had because I was traveling so much for Destructoid. So, it would be like, Colette's on a plane because she's going to Tokyo Game Show. Oh, Colette's on a plane. She's going to PAX, whatever. And
in 2026, you could record a remote podcast from a plane. You could join. I don't think that would be, it would present some hurdles. It would not be impossible to do.
That's crazy. I would never have thought that. I mean, also my next thought is like, oh my God, how rude to the people around you on the plane. But I guess
you are literally the worst person ever to be podcasting next to someone in a plane. Yeah.
God, no, never. Anyway,
let's do it. Let's our 300th episode. I will fly. You fly to Tokyo. I'll fly to
wherever, fill in the blank. Where do you want to go?
Where do I want to go? We've been to Europe, though. There's obviously a million other places to go in Europe, but I don't want to go too far. I can't sit on a plane to Asia or Australia. It's just too much.
It's extremely far. I mean, your best bet is somewhere in Europe because that's closer from where you are.
Or California. Look, I want to go back to Paris and go back to the Louvre. That is very much I don't like the bucket list, but I remember the one time we went being like, this place is unbelievable. And we literally do not have enough time in the day to see. That's what everybody says.
Like you have to go multiple days.
And I do want to go back.
I always have wanted to go. So I hope that you do get to go back. That's awesome.
Have you been to Paris before?
I really want to go. It's also a bucket list thing for me. And I feel like when you're on the East Coast, it's just an easy trip because it's just not that far. I mean, for me to go from where I live now to even LA would be like 5 hours and change.
Yeah, sure.
Paris is like 9, 8 and a half.
Is it
I don't know
that much? Yeah.
I don't know.
You have a bit longer to go than we do in New York, but is extremely doable. And so a friend of ours, we went to Europe for our honeymoon. So this is the only time that I have been. Is that the only time I've been to Europe? That's probably true. Anyway, a friend of ours was like, oh, when you go to Paris, you definitely need to check out the catacombs. And that was
I've heard that too.
The best advice ever. And I think about it and talk about it whenever I can. And I think it's fairly well known now. You sounds like you are aware of it, but the the super short version, which you may know and listeners may know, is like literally they ran out of space to bury people during the plagues in the late Middle Ages, Middle Ages, whenever it was. Like Paris was just a giant cemetery, and they're like, we don't know what to do with the bodies. Oh my God, we're out of room. So they just went into some limestone caves, like that were essentially mines. And they just stacked fucking bones and bodies up to wazoo. And you will think about your life in new ways when you're standing in front of a wall of femurs and skulls. Like imagine, I don't know, it's just, you're looking at so much death, but it's also not gruesome because it's so long. It's like death, if someone dies and you're looking at their skull, that's horrifying. But if I'm looking at a skull from 500 years ago, it's like, oh, cool. Check out the sick skull. You know what I mean? Like, why? It's a human being. And it's just like the amount of death that our ancestors had to reckon with compared to what we live now. You're like, oh man, our life is fucking awesome, man. I don't care what happens. It's awesome.
Modern medicine, they just fucking it was like I was reading about, and I know this seems like a jump, but I swear to God, it's not. It's connected. I was reading about menopause, and I was reading about how the reason there were no treatments for women in menopause and after was because so many women died before they got there.
Oh my God, right.
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, most women hit menopause between 50 and 55.
Wow.
Like my grandmother passed away when she was 98. Like that's so much more life for women. And I don't know what men's lifespan was, but I mean,
slightly
I know
less, generally less, speaking, overall.
That would make sense to me, but that's crazy thing because I mean, and it also makes you think a lot about things like, well, no wonder women were probably encouraged to have babies at a young age because they might have, if they had a baby at 20, they might have 30 some odd years with a baby before their life was over. And I'm like, that's
have as many babies as possible because most of those will die in childbirth or soon after. Right. And if you're lucky to survive childbirth, which was basically a 50-50 shot, which is so fucking insane when you think about that.
It is insane.
Of say what you will about your purpose for being alive, but biologically speaking, we are only here to replicate ourselves and die. So your whole purpose, quote unquote, I'm not really saying this, is to have a child, but that's basically a death sentence. What the it's nature. I've said it before, my friends. Nature is bad, and you should avoid it at all costs. And the only reason why we think grass and trees are nice is because we can look at them out our window, and because we can stay in here making a podcast and not get eaten by bacteria or wolves.
I think they're. I can appreciate the split of that. I can appreciate how I feel in nature, that I feel at one and peaceful, and that there are beautiful things about nature. And I am very happy in a nature setting. But that said, I also
only because you're safe. If you had to live in a nature setting 24/7, you'd be sick and starving.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, totally. We get to enjoy nature in a very choice kind of way, but
that's well said. Yeah.
but I definitely still do enjoy what I enjoy of it, and I appreciate. And but I know that also like it can kill me, and like for me, it's like there's just the two things are together
that's
as
the
one,
appreciation and balance that we want. It's like we should appreciate it. It's we should enjoy it because we have the technology to keep living and enjoy nature's bounties.
Man, can you imagine if we got to be old people and we are old people, but older old people, and we were just like, you should be grateful that you can't get typhoid and die. You don't die at 48 years of age.
I am saying this now.
Can you imagine Gen Z just being like, what the fuck?
I mean,
dude?
as preventable diseases and measles and COVID and whatever continue to, bust out and kill people because people think that vaccines are not a way forward. Like, we're here.
Yeah.
We'll get ready to be cranky old people saying like, in my day, we didn't have polio, but it's back now, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. I've come to the conclusion as I get older that it's inevitable that we're going to turn into old people like we're going to have old people thoughts and ideas, because I think that the process that happens to people just naturally,
yes,
I remember my grandmother being like, everything's so expensive, and I was just like,
right.
God, you're complaining about that.
Totally.
I just, because it has no relevance to me as a teenager. I'm not paying any bills.
Totally.
And now I'm an adult and I have a mortgage, and I'm like, God, everything's so expensive. And it is, because I've now been alive long enough to see prices go exponentially up.
And when prices change, they actually affect your life as opposed to,
Right. So that's what turns you into that. So you're annoying when you don't it's annoying when you don't understand it. And when you understand it, you're like, oh, that's what she meant.
Totally. But here's the dividing line. We talk about this, my wife and I talk about this all the time as we roll our eyes at our own parents about this exact thing. It's okay to have those thoughts and to have elderly thoughts. Like, you can't, that's just what it is. And you're right. But
I don't know why that's so funny to me. Elderly thoughts.
That's our new t-shirt in the merch store. Check it out. Elderly thoughts.
It's just quotes. It's just air quotes on the front.
Yes.
And it just says elderly thoughts in like a script.
And
then the back just says Colette and Matt have entered the chat.
Correct. And is it a thought bubble? Like a cartoon bubble? Or no, it's just the text.
I kind of like the cartoon bubble. Elderly thoughts.
As long as you are self-aware about your elderly thoughts and can step out of your own body and be like, I'm so fucking old, then you're good. If I find myself complaining about traffic or weather, which are valid complaints because they both suck right now, I will just step back and say, come on, man, you're better than that. And you don't have to, that can't be your main conversation topic today with whoever you're talking to.
No, I mean,
and then I save myself.
Yeah, you can just bust out with, isn't it great that we don't have typhoid today? And your wife and children are all going to be like,
yeah, they're going to say, hell yeah. You're going to say, hell yeah, it's great. All right, listen, it's not music, it's not politics, it's not the ravages of time, it is video games. And here's the thing. I have been remiss because we've done at least 2 podcasts and we have not done
Here comes
the
the tail.
Oh,
tail.
There is a cat tail. Wow,
tail.
This is good. This is cinema. There's a black cat tail just like slowly and cinematically like waving across the screen. And if you're only hearing the audio version, you are missing out.
Everything she does is cinematic. She's that kind of cat. So you were saying trivia, we have missed a few, and I forgot to remind you because I forgot.
So we got to do trivia every episode. And fun fact, I you know this, but I was saying, we're going to pin the scoreboard in the Discord channel for the podcast. And then I just went ahead to do that. This was weeks ago. And it was like, sorry, that you can't pin things. I'm like, what?
Right.
I'm like, I'm a moderator of the chat. Like, why can't? And then I was like, can you pin this? And you're like, wait, I can't pin it either. And we were like, what the fuck? I am searching the internet far and wide to figure out what the hell was going on. Short version is they changed some permissions where they split certain permissions were like, yes, you can do this, this, and this. And now they split it into like, you can do that. Those are 3 different checkboxes. And I guess pinning was one of them. And the administrator of the Discord server, who is your husband, was the only one with the power to pin. Even though you and I and other moderators have pinned things in the past, pinned and unpinned, no problem.
But
very
that was
recently,
they changed it.
But they did this change. And so I was like, I can't find this anywhere on the internet. I post on Reddit, like, what? Why is this happening? And it took at least 7 people to like figure out why the issue was there.
Wow.
And I'm like, why? Just explain things. And you know what it was? This drives me nuts with here I am being an old person. You know what drives me nuts?
I was just about to say it.
About software as a service? When you get an error message, and the error message, instead of saying like, sorry, you can't do this, your administrative privileges need to be updated by the thing. Instead, it's just like, something went wrong, shrug, try again later. I'm like,
and you're
I've
like,
tried 18 times. Tell me something about what is happening.
If you just told me, it would be so much easier, man.
I'm okay with error messages as long as you tell me how to fix them. But if you're just like, I don't know.
Lord. Anyway, it's fixed now, and we can pin things again.
So if you want to, if you're keeping up with the trivia score and you're keeping your score at home, because some of you have gotten these answers right in your own mind, we assume, if you're not cheating, Colette has, it's 1-0. Colette has 1, right?
I think
triple checking that.
I think I got 1 right once.
Yes, you have 1 right. We've done a few, but we have gotten them mostly wrong, but you got 1 right. So it was 1-0. Again, honor system, I'm shuffling these cards and I'm picking one at random and I'm not looking at the answer as I read it. Are you prepared? She's nodding. She's nodding on an audio
sorry, I
medium.
forgot to say yes. Sometimes I forget.
Our question today is, Panda first appears as a selectable fighter in which game of the Tekken franchise? Panda. I know nothing about Tekken. I presume you are not a fighting game man as well.
No, I'm definitely not a man. That's one thing. So.
Okay.
So yeah, I
confirmed.
I actually could only answer the most rudimentary of Street Fighter questions, and that would be it. Same. Not this.
Panda first appears as a selectable fighter in which game? So I think what we could do here, it's going to be like Tekken 4. You like whatever. You can just pick a number, and if you get it right, you'll get it right.
Tekken 6.
All right. Colette says 6.
Don't even know if that exists.
Yeah, exactly. Panda. I don't know this character. I'm gonna say I'll just say Tekken 4 because I don't know either.
Okay.
Are you ready? The answer is Tekken 3. God damn it! Oh, I used to have. So long ago, I had The Price is Right losing sound.
Oh, that would be a good one.
I got to get that back on the soundboard here.
That's a good one.
So just imagine it in your minds, dear listeners. Where are you in your Resident Evil journey? Last we spoke, you were playing 2.
I was playing 2. I've been playing it pretty regularly, almost every night for an hour or 2. I figured I was pretty close. Not last night, but the night before. And I was right because I was in an Umbrella facility, which is kind of a dead giveaway that you're getting to the end. Apparently you often are at an Umbrella facility at the end of Resident Evil, which is one of its many tropes.
Okay. Very good.
So I finished last night and I was like, cool. I was like, I'm into it. Let's just barrel right into Resident Evil 3. And Patrick was like, well, thing is like most Resident Evil games, you have the option of playing as of one of 2 characters. Mm-hmm. And so this particular game, you can obviously play as Leon Kennedy, or Leon Twink Kennedy, as I think of him, because he is nothing like Daddy Leon, my sacred Daddy Leon.
Wait, and briefly, I'm learning as you bring me through this that it typically is two characters. So, I didn't fully understand that. I didn't know if that was like part of the newer ones, but is Leon the protagonist in every single Resident Evil? Is he the main guy? No.
Okay. It changes a little. So they've had a series of different protagonists, or either one or two people that you could play through Resident Evil 1, 2, 3. I think I didn't finish 4, so I'm not sure, but I think in 4 you're just Leon. And then they had the double up situation in 5 and 6. Chris Redfield from the original Resident Evil game, the first one, came back in that time period. Mm-hmm. And then they introduced a new protagonist for 7 and 8 alone. So that was interesting because that broke form from what they normally did. As far as I know, you can't switch characters in those games. I could be wrong.
Is Requiem like not Resident Evil 9 then, or no?
Yeah,
right? Is the 9th game?
Yeah, it's considered mainline, so yeah, it is. But even though they don't use the number, but it's kind of interesting with that because rather than choosing a character that you will play by playing through the game. You will switch to their perspectives and have times playing as them. So you start as Grace in Requiem, and then after a while you'll be Leon, and then you'll change back to Grace. So instead of playing the game multiple times.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
You could, obviously, but like, for instance, the reason I was like, let's go to 3. And Patrick was like, hold on, because you've played the whole game as Leon and you've met certain characters. And if you play the game as Claire Redfield, then that's Chris Redfield's sister. She's the other character. Wait, no, hold on. I'm getting tangled because hold on. I have to look at the actual page to make sure I'm not confusing people.
She's Googling it.
Okay, hold on. Okay, Jill Valentine is in Resident Evil 3. So that means that Claire is in Resident Evil 2. That's right. So she's the other person you can play, but if you play her, you meet other people and you don't meet the key character that I met playing as Leon.
Yeah, okay.
So that's one piece of story, apparently. And so Patrick was like, you sure you want to go on? Do you want to play like the other character? And I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to play the exact same game over again. Like maybe I just want to, run right to 3. And so I finished 2 and started 3 last night. Okay. And I was like, man, this is good. Like, it's one of those games that like, it reminds me of when you go see a movie and like the action just like pummels you like right out of the gate. Nice. It's kind of like that, like super high action, really well produced, very cinematic. Because I'm playing the remake.
You answered my question. Yep.
Yeah, I'm playing all remakes. Yep. I do not really do well with PS1 era original games.
I guess I am ignorant of like them. Yeah, totally. When did these games originally come out? Like I know kind of like the beginning, but I don't know the timelines of the middle ones. And then which of those middle ones have remakes? Do they all? Okay. They have all been remade up to what point?
They're up to a certain point. So the original Resident Evil first game came out in 1996. The second game came out in 1998, and the third game came out in 1999. I think I'm just double checking myself.
Fast, like those are very close together.
Well, Sky would be the best person to ask about this, but if I'm not mistaken, Resident Evil was a pretty big hit for Capcom.
Yeah, but even obviously. Still.
Like,
that's very
looking at that timeline, you're like, oh shit! Like
that's very fast to turn around.
It is
sequels, and these were all on PS1.
My memory is that they were PlayStation 1 games. I think maybe they were ported later. I don't know, but I believe they were. My memory is that because that's like one of the canon PlayStation games that I remember is Resident Evil.
Yeah.
So, and then the remakes are much more recent. So, the one that I am playing now, I think was 2020. The one I finished last night was 2019.
Yes, we talked about that. Yep.
And then the original Resident Evil remake was 2015, which freaked me the fuck out because I was talking to Sky about it in the Discord, and I was like, that just happened. And he's like, that was 10 years ago, and 11 years ago.
11.
And I was like, what the fuck? Because I remember Patrick has always been a fan of the franchise, and I never really got into it at the beginning for reasons I've explained on this show. So when that remake came out, he was like, oh, you should play it. This is perfect. And I was like, yeah, you're right. It is. And so I played some of it, and I was like, this is fun. I really like this. But I know I wouldn't have gone back to the original game because the tank controls drive me crazy now.
Right.
They're just so difficult to manage. So, I mean, I get the historical significance, but that doesn't mean I want to suffer while I play.
And I vaguely understand what that term means, just because like I get what it means in a vehicle perspective in terms of controlling a vehicle.
It means the same thing.
But you're controlling a third person character as if it was a car or whatever, right? Is that the idea with two analog sticks?
No, quite literally a tank. Like, so I want you to imagine what it's like to move a tank, and then I want you to imagine what it's like to move. Yeah, like clunky, awkward, difficult turn, like slow turning, like you're aiming to kill something, and then you're like I mean, it's rough. It's rough in my opinion. So.
But does this mean that you can walk to the left with the left stick and then turn to the right independently with the right stick to shoot and aim? Is that what that means? Tank controls?
I'm trying to remember because it's been so long since I played it.
I can look it up, but
I think that my memory of it was that one stick moved you, up, down, left, right. There was no diagonal movement really. And then the other stick allowed you to look. Yeah. So you would have to look. So it's
looking and...
But that your body was
that your body is like rigid, but you're looking side to side.
Yeah, it's so hard to explain well. But like when I think about controlling, like in the first Silent Hill game, it was like there was no fluidity of movement. It was like everything just felt extremely locked down and like very slow.
Yeah.
So yes, perhaps I would look it up, but I don't want my screen to get really bright. But
I will peek at that. I was curious because I've seen plenty of discourse about it, and I'm just like, I don't really know what this even means. So I'm looking into it. But
I always think of it quite literally, like when you see a tank move, you're like, oh, like it just seems everything is so slow and so clunky. And that is exactly what I remember experiencing, but I don't really understand. I don't know how to explain. Okay, wait, okay. Tank controls. I have a phone, so it's not.
Wait, you get internet on your phone?
Tank controls are a 3D game movement scheme where character movement is relative to the character's orientation, not the camera view. Pressing up moves the character forward. Left, right rotates them, similar to a tank. Popular in 90s games, they pair with fixed camera angles to heighten the tension.
That's
so that makes
terrible.
sense.
So it's actually the opposite of what I'm saying.
So there is no this. It's correct. Just the whole body. Yeah,
you're moving your body.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Today we learned.
So here's my beef.
Regardless of camera angle, forward is always forward.
Yes. So obviously that system is terrible. But I think the term tank controls is a bad term because I understood it to mean when you have a tank, you can move the turret of the tank independently of the direction of the tank.
See, in my mind, I'm only thinking of the tank body. I'm not thinking about the turret at all.
Yeah, we got to fix all this. We got to change all this language.
Well, I mean, you don't have to worry about it too much because tank controls are considered to be, archaic.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah.
So this remake, remaster, remake is great.
Yeah, having a really fun time. It's well presented. You get thrown right into the middle of all the zombie action. You meet a new character pretty quickly. So Jill, who is one of the two main characters in Resident Evil 3, was she appeared in Resident Evil 1 alongside Chris Redfield as one of the two main characters. So she's returning in this game. Mm-hmm. Also, I was also talking with Sky about how like meeting the women in these early games is so like reflective of the 90s. Because like, okay, so there's this character Ada Wong, who I don't think I'm spoiling anything by, because this is a very old game. I'm not spoiling anything by saying that, like, you know, she's the spy, and like if you play Leon in 2, you meet her for the first time. And I already knew what she was going to be wearing, but like, you know, it's a much higher res interpretation now than it was back then. So your girl is literally out here in like a ruched cocktail dress. So it's like a fitted dress, and then it has like this like detailing on the sides. Like it's not a thing you would wear to like the sewers underneath Raccoon City. It is like a thing you would wear to like a fundraising gala. Mm-hmm. So she's got that black stockings.
There's no context for this. I don't know the storyline. There's no context
Zero.
of like I just came from the ball at the palace, but now I'm underground. Yeah.
No. Zero. Absolute zero. She's got high heel, like 4-inch heel pumps on. Mm-hmm. She has a trench coat over all this, but that goes away pretty quickly. And you're just like, wow, men clearly made these games. Yeah, man. Okay, men made these games.
I need something to look at while I'm shooting zombies.
Obviously, right? Obviously, I mean, I like to look at Leon Kennedy, so I guess there's
right?
That.
Sure.
So I already knew her famous outfit, and they didn't change that at all for the remake. I noticed, however, that they did change Jill's outfit. So in the original game, Jill is like out here ready to fight zombies in like this like blue tank top thing. It doesn't have straps. Like it's just like a bandeau or something. Like you're like, what the fuck? And like a skirt that's like this long.
Yeah.
And in the new game, she's just got like jeans and like a t-shirt or a tank top on. Like it's normal. It's like, all right. That's like rough and gritty. Like we're going to get out there and fight some zombies.
It's normal clothes, but still can be sexy if you want it to be. But it's like human clothes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny. That's all. Like all of that has been hilarious to me. And obviously in this remake, they were like, yeah, we're not going to put her in that. And I was like, okay. Yeah. I'll take whatever progress we get, however small. I mean, Ada Wong would not be Ada Wong without this outfit, right?
Like it's a very iconic outfit. Mystique. Yeah, sure.
Like she's a spy, and like so I'm like, all right, that's fine, but it's funny. I think it's all funny. So
I guess what I would say, again, knowing Zero, is that if it's like, hey, meet me in the sewers at 6 p.m. so to go do this mission, and you came wearing a cocktail dress, that's stupid. But if there is some other spy thing that she was doing before she got caught up in sewer time, then that's fine. I can get on board with
that this could be possible. Mm-hmm. So I like that you thought of that, because I did not. I was just like, what the fuck, girl? Okay. Like, please come in a thong next time. Like, I mean, you're probably wearing one under that dress. My God.
Great.
So I don't babble for too long. So then I today had like every stage of my Resident Evil like series playthrough has been really fun to talk to our friend Sky Berkson about, because he's such a mega fan, right? And so, you know, when I finished, I was like, oh, I got to tell Sky, you know, and like got to tell the Discord. And so I finished, and then Sky and I got into a conversation about 3, and he's like, oh, so did you just play Leon's part? And I was like, yeah. And I just went on, and he was like, you can. I'm not telling you have to, but you are missing out on some key stories.
This is what Patrick said. He's saying the same thing.
Same thing. But like when Patrick said it, I was like, part of me wants to just go to a new game, and part of me is like, maybe I should, I don't know. And I was like, I'll just do it for now and I'll think about it. But I think having Skyway in 2, I was like, okay, I kind of do want to find out all of the story.
If you're not playing 12 other games, you could you could go back to 2 and then progress in 3, unless that's like a mindfuck continuity wise.
I don't think it would be, because it's all kind of happening in a very close timeline. And I think like my feeling about it last night was, well, I just don't want to play the same game again, even if I'm someone else. Like I'm not ready to just repeat the game.
Generally in that zone as well.
Right. Like, you know, I played Silent Hill F 5 times in a row. Like I didn't want to do that. I did it because I wanted the full story. But like typically I'm not a person that will really restart a game from scratch very often. I think Claire Obscure was one of the few games that I restarted immediately.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I think that's probably the best way to go at it, is like, well, am I in the mood to play 2 tonight, or am I in the mood to make more progress in a new story? Mm-hmm. So we'll see. But yeah, it's very interesting. And then because this series has gone on for so long, the timeline's all fucky, like most video game timelines are. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, well, then you'll play this game. And then did you play the offshoot? Did you go and play Code Veronica? Blah, blah, blah. Like, you know.
Are these console games that are not mainline? Are they spinning off characters or something? Or are these like mobile things? Like what is all that?
Well, because Resident Evil has been as big as it's been in all kinds of places. So the mainline games, and then when they started spinning off into stuff like Code Veronica, was all originally console. Mm-hmm. But now you can get it on PC. You might even be able to get some of them on mobile for all I know. But I guess,
I didn't know if these were mobile spin-off. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
I think that maybe, and the same thing with Silent Hill, I think maybe 1 or 2 purely mobile spin-offs probably existed. Yeah. And I don't know where they are now. I mean, they're probably on dead phones. But I know one existed for Silent Hill that you couldn't play unless you lived in Japan.
Right.
So that's where I'm at. It's very fun. It's kind of nice, I will say. I don't know if you've ever played a whole series, like, you know, all connecting from beginning to end. But one thing that is cool is knowing the systems. Being like, right, I already know that, you know, like I'm going to use this box to store my stuff, and I'm going to use the typewriter to save, and I know exactly what the menus look like. Like Silent Hill's like that too, but it's just like you go into the next game already knowing how to use everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's fun.
And hopefully the next game is adding layers of interest or complexity or sophistication. You know, that's, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Sequel. I mean,
or are they just like, it's the next chapter of this game, and it's the same game but with, you know, new zombies or something. You know what I mean?
That's a good question. I mean, I think that they did try to introduce like certain mechanics in some of the games, although I'll have to report back when I get there. But yeah, that's a good question. Like, is it always just like, you know, getting a bunch of guns and combining a bunch of herbs, and, you know, is that always what it is? And I'll answer that, I guess, after I get a little further.
Going through it. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
The Resident Evil journey continues. It's great. I mean, yeah, you're hitting it at this right moment, because the new games are newing and they're great, you know, and then you're going back, but you don't have to go all the way back. You're going back to remakes, which are in line with the newer games. It's just like, the flow is right here for you to do this.
It is. And also I got to say, like, it's one thing that I've rarely had this experience, because, like, you know, we always joke about like, oh, there's a Steam sale and we buy all these games and then some of them never get played.
Yeah.
And I have rarely, if ever, had the experience of being like, I'm going to play this game, this game series that has 9, 10, 11 entries, and we already own them all.
Mm-hmm.
So I can spend $0 on this, which is super fun to be like, you know, I can just have this super premium experience for nothing.
That's cool.
And that's fun too. So yeah, I'm having a good time. I might be talking about this for a while.
We're on the journey with you. That's great.
Yeah, unless I get to a point where I hit a snag where I'm like, I don't want to play this anymore. But I don't really see that happening. I think I'm probably just going to keep on going.
I don't know. I don't know if we said this before we started recording or during, but bringing Sky on to do like a spoiler cast for Requiem and or you know, talk about this journey in a more knowledgeable way, because I don't have anything to offer really except questions for you, you know, about it.
Yeah, but you always ask great questions, so I don't think it matters. But
thank you.
But I do think it would be super fun with Sky. So I'm trying to decide. Well, I guess if it's Requiem, then maybe there is no bad time at this point, since I'm starting to like dig deep into the, into like the beginnings of it all. Yes. So we'll have to talk to him and figure it out.
Yes. Right. I mean, right. Maybe he'd want you to wait until you get more under your belt and then do a big thing. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. Yes, we shall discuss. So yeah, that's it for me. That's all I've been playing. I've played my little mobile game a little bit that I mentioned last week, but I haven't gone back to it like every single day. Maker Valley.
The game that has no trailers on YouTube and no information on the Apple site.
I noticed that.
I couldn't even show it on the video version last week because there's literally no footage of it.
In all honesty, that weirds me out a little bit, because it's just so different than what I'm used to. Totally. I've still played it 3 or 4 times just for 30 minutes at a time, and I'm still making a little bit of progress, but I think and they sent me a survey where they were asking a lot of questions about, do you like this about the game? Would you like it if we added fishing? Would you like it if we added, nice. Et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But I do wish that they had more general presence so I could just learn more about what they're planning. Is there a Discord?
Totally. Yeah. Where did you discover this game? Was it just recommended in an app store or what?
No, I am in 2 groups on Facebook. One's called Cozy Games and the other one's called My Potato Games. And they recommend Cozy Games like crazy. And so I guess maybe before the podcast last week, they were like, oh yeah, I found Maker Valley. It's really cute. It really reminds me of Animal Crossing. And that's why I got it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So other human beings are playing and enjoying this game. It's just there is no video game on earth that doesn't have a Let's Play on the internet. You know what I mean? So
I know.
Where is everyone? Interesting.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I feel like Fox Mulder was right all along. Trust no one. So, I'm always if I can't find information, are these people legit? Is this a scam? I don't know. Are you vacuuming information out of my phone? But then I was like, no, Apple does that legitimately. Google does that legitimately.
They all do it legitimately. But, not to get too far afield, I'm starting, worried is too strong. I am bothered by this notion that every now and then it's oh, this game got through Steam and it has malware in it and they caught it and it's gone now. But lots of people installed it, and that annoys me because if you are going on the internet and downloading executables to your computer or your phone, then that's your problem. But we use app stores and Steam and Switch, whatever, eShops in order to put vetted software onto our computers and game systems. And when things get through the filter, which is inevitable because there's so much garbage on all these stores, then that is oh man, even this place we thought was safe is not safe. And then because I sort of do a little bit of work for a cybersecurity podcast that tells crazy stories about cybercrime, it's oh yeah, millions of people downloaded this app and it was actually North Korean spyware, and then they used it to rob banks and shit. And it's oh man, So I'm not saying this is related to anything about this game, but it makes, when you see something that's man, this game, even the Genshin impacts and the Wuthering Waves and these are all Chinese studios making highly addictive games.
Yeah.
And it's it would be trivial for a government to be just throw this little code in here next time you ship an update. And then they got them. They got us. I don't know. I'm a little tinfoil hatty, but also Fox Mulder was right.
I don't think you are. I mean, look, trust no one is a very legitimate take. I think it has only become more legitimate 30 years later after it was first said. So yeah. Anyway.
I know we joke about this. Should we do an X-Files rewatch podcast?
I will do anything with the X-Files literally ever. However, that a remake is happening that doesn't feature Mulder and Scully and that Ryan Coogler is doing it.
Is he the creator?
No,
Coogler or
that,
I
no,
don't.
that
I know that
that's
name,
Chris.
but I'm not.
So okay, so Ryan Coogler is the guy who made. Hold on, I just want to make sure that I'm getting this right. He's the guy that made Sinners.
Oh, as I was seeing discussion and clips of it on the Oscars, I was like, this movie looks so fucking amazing.
You haven't seen Sinners?
No, I know. No, we haven't because we just don't go to the movies. But
well, right, but it's on streaming now.
I know it's
like
on
you
streaming.
You can see it and not have to go anywhere. But like,
but I have to level up my ship in Jump Space, which I'm going to talk about in a moment here. But anyway, yes, no, I need to watch Sinners.
You should see it eventually. It is extreme.
Looks so
it won
amazing.
a billion awards.
It won everything. But even just like looking at it. Oh, and then there was like a musical act that did a performance during the Oscars, and I was this is the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like it was so good.
It's fantastic. So he is doing a reimagined X-Files, which I'm very excited about because it's obviously not going to lean on the Mulder and Scully thing, which look, I'm like, they were my first ever like obsessions, like as a teenager. But that said, like, I think that ship has sailed, and I really think that someone needs to take a fresh approach at this universe. And I mean, that's perfect. It couldn't be a better person.
No, good on them for not remaking it. Good on them for just expanding it into some, hey, it's the same department and it's other rookie investigators doing that stuff, but it's different. And that's awesome. It's modernized.
I'm very excited about it, but there is a certain fun about the like X-Files rewatch old episodes.
Well,
party,
that is all. Number one, I guarantee you, there's 4,500,000 X-Files rewatch podcasts. Number two, all the more reason to do one because if the new thing is coming out, that's going to get more hype around anything touching that universe. Number three, I cannot call myself a fan of the show. I would watch it casually here and there when it was on. And I remember watching one of the movies, but I don't know the lore, and some of it is not appealing to me because I am a lore canon guy, and so when hobbits go to a certain place in Lord of the Rings, there are languages and reasons and whatever. But in X-Files, it's like there's a massive conspiracy about alien invaders and also werewolves. And I'm like, no, I don't want werewolves in this. It's an alien show.
As a ride or die fan of the X-Files who watched every season, I recorded it on VHS. Like I did. I will say that there came a point around season 5, from season 4 to season 5, where the conspiracy stuff was obviously really driving viewership and it was really well done. Okay. And then they kept trying to find a way to like level it up. Okay. And it got too much.
Well, my memory is like
they couldn't follow it up anymore.
Well, this is my memory. Tell me if this is anywhere near accurate. The movie, one of the movies, the first movie was like, holy shit, they're here. It's all going down. And then the next season was like, I don't know, there's a ghost in this house. And I'm like, wait, what? It's the biggest conspiracy that ever conspired. Why are we haunted housing now?
Well, because that was the bread and butter of what made the X-Files. The X-Files.
I've heard it described as a Monster of the Week show, which I get it, and I get that. Right, but then the alien conspiracy. See, I am here for the alien conspiracy. I am not here for the werewolves and ghosts.
I get it. Well, then we are not watching anything in season 1 because that's all it is.
Well,
really much of season 2. Honestly, all that really starts.
But if it's only 3. That, so this is why I think we're not really doing this. We don't have time to really do this. But maybe we could think about doing this. But the point is, you are a ride or die super fan, have everything on VHS in your back pocket, and I'm like, I don't know.
I don't
what's
anymore.
Up with X-Files? Yeah. So I do feel like I would be experiencing a lot for the first time, and you would be schooling me about the context in which they. and I'm really into that idea. So.
Well, we'll have to discuss it. You never know. It could be a fun one-off or something.
Yeah.
But before we get too far into extraterrestrials, we should talk. I mean, we should talk about space, but not that kind of space. We should talk about jump space,
outer space.
jump space. We should talk about Matt's obsession with space games.
I opened up my Steam homepage on, I think it was on the Steam Deck, and it was just like wall to wall space games, and I'm like, it's just not all I play is space games now, I guess.
But hey, I mean, it's okay to have a fave thing. But I will tell you something that really threw me off about Jump Space, which is that it uses the exact same freaking font as Dead Space.
Does it really?
Compare them.
Oh, that's very interesting.
And I was like, that's very interesting that they made that choice.
Well, there's a little bit of history here. I'll tell you in a moment.
Oh, really?
No, it's, I would not call it the same font, but I understand.
It's visually
your visual
evocative,
connection.
I think.
You are correct.
You're right. I'm looking at it now, and I see the difference. But it's there's something similar there. At any rate, please continue.
This game was originally called Jump Ship.
Okay.
And I have been following it for a very long time.
Oh.
And for some reason, last year, they were like, hey, everyone, we had to figure out that we needed to change the name, and now it's Jump Space. And I always find that very weird and interesting. And my perception is that it's related to IP issues. I don't know why. I am not aware of anything else called Jump Ship, but my hunch, based on nothing, and maybe this is public, I don't know. But typically when IP changes names, it's like, hey, Universal's music or Universal Studios was like, hey, in 6 years, we're making a movie called Jump Ship, and we had the copyright on it, so you can't call your game. Please change your game. I don't know. So it has been called Jump Space for many moons, many months now. And here, my history with this game is in the context of all these other space games, which is that I desperately want Sea of Thieves in space, where you are crewing a spaceship and you are going around to you are piloting the ship, you are on the guns, you're fixing the engines, you're repairing the hull, you're jumping out of space to go on missions. And in the course of the last 2 years, like 6 of these games have come out, and I have played all of them. And they are all good in different reasons. And I think, at first I didn't think Jump Space was going to be Jump Space, not Jump Ship. I didn't think that was going to be the one. And now that it has matured and formally entered early access and gotten a few updates, I think it might be the good one for me. Running down the list, Void Crew is very popular. I have played it. I've talked about it. I find that the controller input on Void Crew is bad. I don't like the graphics, and I don't like the ships, and I don't like the vibe. Okay. And there wasn't combat in Void Crew for a good long time, on-foot combat. So it's a good game that a lot of people like, but I didn't, and I don't have any people to play it with, and it's very co-op oriented. It just vibes wise, Void Crew always felt very flat to me, and I couldn't quite get into it. So I had to leave that behind. And then Wildgate came out, which I have talked about extensively on this show, and it was my 5th game of the year last year. It is a phenomenal game. It is the most polished one of these on the market today. It's very, very good. But the progression system is not sticky, because you are never unlocking better weapons or higher levels or experience or improvements that let you take on harder content. You are only unlocking gated things like devices and weapons that just let you play in a new style, which is good and fine, but I already know what style. I have decided which class I want to play, and I like the guns I already have. And now the progression, they've done a lot of work to the progression and the modes. They've done a lot of things that have brought me back to check out the game, and I think they are very, very good. But I still cannot kick the feeling that like in Deep Rock Galactic, in Monster Hunter, in Arc Raiders, of course, everything you're doing is working toward a goal that is, I'm going to get stronger to take on the next monster, or I'm working towards some kind of crafting thing that lets me get a gun that's like super more powerful to do X, or I'm grinding out currency to get this sick fucking hat and I'm going to look so sick out there. And sadly, Wildgate's progression system and cosmetics, they just don't have the juice. And it's such a bummer because that game is great. And then the last thing I'll say about Wildgate very briefly is that it's so polished and playing is really fun, but piloting the ship is a bummer because in this game, you're piloting this big, heavy freighter that does not have, you cannot shoot while you're flying. So you're like, it's a very big skill to pilot the ship with a crew. But when you do, you're like slowly making your way and turning and getting your shields up. But flying in the ship is not action combat. Action combat is either on foot or it's manning the guns Millennium Falcon style. And all that is excellent, but there is no pew-pew shooting dog. There is no dog fighting in Wildgate. And there is no ship combat really to speak of necessarily in Void Crew. Jump Space differentiates itself because the flight model for your ship fucking rules. And so this is much more action-packed, very arcadey combat, but in a good way. So when you're at the pilot seat, you have boosts. You are not really drifting, but boosting and shooting is your main way to hone in on enemies, avoid their fire, swing around them, take them out, and quickly start shooting other enemies. And what is also happening simultaneously is your crew. I actually only play solo because I don't have people to play with. You can join lobbies of randoms, but there's no voice chat, which is fine. I don't want it. But I have not found multiplayer in this game rewarding, but if you have a crew of people who love this game, I think it's incredibly rewarding. But what they've done since I played beta tests and demos is that they've added a buddy bot, which is like a robot crew member. And usually in these types of games, it's like, oh, their abilities are limited and you got to command them to do stuff. This buddy bot in Jump Space rules because it is aware contextually of like what the fuck's going on in the ship. And he's like, hey, you're low on ammo. I'm going to refill it for you. Hey, I'm boosting the shields now. Hey. And it's like having a very smart crew member, a human player, just taking care of shit so you can play Star Wars in space with your Pum Pum.
Okay. So that seems like it makes it more fun.
It's way more fun.
Okay.
And so anyway, Jump Space is working for me as this game where the others fell short in a lot of ways. And also, I didn't think Jump Space was good when I thought it had very good bones when I played beta tests and demos. And as I was playing those, I was like, yeah, this feels really good. And I think it's really has a lot of promise, but like, the missions and the progression system were like, I don't know. And then it hit early access and I was like, I don't know. And then they just recently last week put out an update called the heated update or the heat map update or something.
It's called the heated update. I'm looking at the page now. And one of my questions was going to be like, when did you first play this? So how long have you been involved?
So I've been involved for a long time, but I've only gone hard on it since this heated update. And it is exactly the juice that this game needs. It's such a great mechanic for the game. So anyway, the reason why it really is hooking me is because progress is very, very good. You are going on missions, you're completing quests for NPCs, but that's fine. Who cares? But you need certain currencies and salvage from these runs to bring them back to level up all the systems on your ship. So I am legitimately hitting difficulty spikes where it's like, whoa, like this mission is very long and very challenging, and I'm getting my ass kicked, so I need to go back and get more ingots and materia to level up my guns and my engines or whatever to take on this harder content. And that right there, that loop, that sort of Monster Hunter loop of like, you could take this bad boy on, but you're going to need you're going to have to level up all your armor and get a new loadout and all this shit like that. When I hit that moment, I'm like, yeah, let's play, let's go, let's play this game, you know? And all those other space games that I just mentioned never really had that for me. This one has implemented the heated update. So it's run based and similar. I don't know that I would call, I guess, is it a roguelike? I guess it's a roguelike technically, but you're doing a mission and the mission has nodes. So it's like, the mission is like, recover the salvage from a crashed ship. And so, but that piece of the mission is the final step. Along the way, there are nodes on the map where it's like, all right, you can go here, and that's going to be a combat situation. You can go here, and we don't know what's in this sector. You can go here, and that's going to be like defend this ship from attackers. And you're sort of making strategic choices based on how the run is going, deciding where to go on the map. And the heated update is very cool because not only does the ring sort of close in on you, forcing you to go forward in the mission. So there's a bunch of nodes and you can't do them all because the ring of death is sort of closing in every time you jump to the next sector. And so you need to make firm choices of like, well, I can't do both of these missions, so I am going to do this mission because I need more of this material. It's not as challenging. And also, if I kill the enemies or break into a vault on this particular node, it's going to reduce the heat of the final boss encounter at the end, making that final mission, which is the culmination of the mission, easier for me to achieve. And so you're sort of playing the map strategically. Now, it may happen that like, holy shit, I got my ass beat in the last node, and so I'm really low health and I have no materials to kind of repair my ship. So maybe I shouldn't do a combat mission next, even if it's going to reduce the heat on the final boss. So you kind of choose your path based on the run. I don't want to say Hades style, but vaguely Slay the Spire-ish, where you are progressing on a map and you're choosing nodes based on like, oh man, I got to go to a campfire to heal. Oh, I should go to the shop to get some new stuff because I'm running low on whatever. I gotta get my shit together, my loadout together for the next thing. And those mechanics combined with the core bones of the gameplay, the action gameplay, are really, really hitting the sweet spot. And so basically, you're piloting the ship, you're gaining materials and manufacturing ship healing items, guns, medical supplies, and other consumables. You're using those materials to manufacture them on the ship, and then you're taking them out onto missions. So you're basically like, raid this vault. And so you fly up to the vault. There's enemy fighters and corvettes all around. You pum, Star Wars style. You take them down. Then you park your ship at this place and you eject. Like, it's the on foot action. The action is very good in both ship combat and on foot, because you literally go into a tube and shoot yourself out of the ship, and then you land and you're on foot, and all of a sudden it's like Destiny. And I don't think the shooting and the guns are as good as a Destiny. That's high praise, but it is very fast and slick first person shooting, where it's like, boom, I'm on the ground. Holy shit. Okay, there's robots coming at me. Bam, bam, bam. Switch guns, reload, blah, 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 take cover. And then you have a grappling hook. So there's these grappling points. So you can kind of just go whoosh, Spider-Man style and whip yourself around the environment. You can get back to your ship. So it's like, holy shit, we cracked into the vault and I got enemies everywhere and it's going to self-destruct. And so you're running Mission Impossible style away from the explosion, and then you go whoosh, Spider-Man to your ship, get back in there into the airlock, grab the cats. Cats are running in front of Colette's camera.
It's time to eat, and they're freaking out. They're killing me.
Grab the wheel and gun it, and you blast away from this exploding space station that you just blew up, and it is chef's kiss. It is so good because all that action stuff was in the beta and the demo, but there wasn't this like cohesion to the missions, and now there's just like run-based cohesion where it's like, whoa, sick, I hacked a vault and blew it up, and now I'm in my ship. Holy shit, the reinforcements are coming, they're on my tail. Boom, you gotta, there's a warp disruptor, so you gotta blow that ship up. Oh, we're overwhelmed, you gotta jump, and you like jump out of the sector at the exact moment. And then you're off to the next mission, and you're like, okay, all right, I have materials, I can repair the shields, but I can't heal the ship. Maybe I'll recycle this gun to make more of this. And so it has that sort of, it's nothing like Arc Raiders, but it has that sort of like, whoa, lots of action. Okay, regroup. What do I have? Crafting, resource management, inventory management. And then at the very end, it's like the only way you're making progress is if you finish the mission and get out of the sector with salvage. And the salvage is currency that you can use to level up your guns and your systems. But also, if you find a component in the mission, like from a ship you blew up, and it's new, if you bring that back to the base, you can then install that on your future runs. Ooh. And that's like, oh wow, I have this new gun. I won't get too far into it, but there is this Tetris-like reactor system where, depending on your reactor, it will create a grid of green squares, and then you have to fit the components of your ship into the grid in order to keep them powered. So you're basically creating this Tetris loadout that's like, all right, with this reactor that's not leveled up, I can only fit this gun and this engine and this sensor, and I'm kind of like rearranging them. And then you warp into a sector and it's like, there's an electrical storm, so like these 7 squares on your power grid are disrupted. You're like, shit, my guns are offline. So you run down to engineering and you're like, okay, I got to take this engine booster off and put this and reconfigure the gun in a Tetris zone so I can get my ship operational so I can not die. And it becomes this like, every part of the game, the ship flying and shooting, the mission combat, and the engineering all feels very consequential. And then to top it off, you're coming back to base and you're like, yeah, I got a new ship, I got a new engine, I got a new gun, let's try this out. And you go back one more run. And Jump Space has one more run for me. Wildgate, I really, really love it. It doesn't have the like, I gotta go back and get something, because there's nothing to get. It's like, oh, my guy can be green now. I'm like, it's not enough. And I'm praying that they can figure that out, because I am worried that studio is gonna have trouble. But yeah, that's my take.
It sounds like it, but I mean, at least it sounds like this is kind of hitting more for you, and I mean, that's fun. It looks really cool, actually. Like, I really don't play this kind of game, but regardless, like, just looking at it it's very cool looking.
If you, and I'm saying this mostly to your husband, but if you're a Deep Rock Galactic, if you're a Helldivers, if you're an Arc Raiders type person, as I am, and you love all those types of cooperative, like, everyone has a job and we're on a mission and everyone's got to play their class to do their job. It is not class-based, but the point is, like, everyone has a job and shit's going crazy on the ship and we got to get out of here. That's this game, and it's very cool. And it's hitting all those buttons for me. So
nice. Yes.
Jump Space, formerly Jump Ship. It is in early access. It's usually not too expensive. It's $20 on Steam. It's also on Xbox, and they are the two. I don't know if there's crossplay. I don't think there is, but the patches have parity. So when a patch hits Steam, they roll it out to Xbox a couple days later, and so the game is evolving in an early access state, even on Xbox consoles if that is your preference. And
cool.
Yeah, it is not it's not fully complete, but you're going to get your money's worth at $20 if you like these kind of games.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, for $20, that's a pretty good deal if you ask me.
I'll see you out there in space.
This is why it's so hard to buy AAA games. This is why.
And it's a very small indie studio. I don't know where they're based. Somewhere in Europe. They seem to have accents on the dev streams, but I haven't looked too closely. But they seem like very committed, cool, lovely people. And I think a lot of people are playing the game. Like, I think the player counts are very high right now. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully that means that if you end up getting into a point where you're enjoying multiplayer in the future, you'll maybe it'll be easier to play with
They
people.
Need, right now it's lobbies where you're just joining random people on random missions. But what they actually need is mission-based matchmaking, which is like how Monster Hunter
sense.
and Deep Rock is like, I need this material in this sector at this difficulty, and then you are instantly matched with other players with the same goal. Right now, it's like, oh, I'm in a lobby with randos, and I have no idea what mission I'm on, and I guess I'll just put out fires. It's not quite right, but
that would definitely be harder for me to enjoy, because I mean, there have been times, mostly MMO times, where I did, matchmaking, but yeah, like when you have quests, I'm very quest oriented, but when you have quests to do, like, I want to do my quests and I want people with me that are going to do the same quests. And if they're not, then it's kind of like, well, what the fuck,
I am less quest oriented, but I am goal oriented in these types of games.
I wish you could see I would turn the camera, but I can't. My cat's face he is dying.
Feed these cats, play these games. We're going to get out of here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. As usual, please resist fascism wherever you find it. Be kind. Rewind your podcasts whenever you listen to them. And we will talk with you in 1 week's time.
Bye.